and welcome to my weekly program, with Frank. This is my lighthearted opportunity to let you know everything that's going on here at the Grand. Now, the title of our program takes its name from the merciless teasing I get from the technical crew every day, but, well, not every day. See, I've already started saying, I'm just going to start drinking now. Before performances, I give a curtain speech. And I say a lot of ums and ahs, and they make fun of me. So we decided to put this show at happy hour, and so you can play along. So get yourself a drink, and every time I say or ah, take a sip. Oh, that's 2, and I think I said 2 before that. So that's a total of 4. See, you're going to have a lot of fun. Now, this show's also being recorded, so if you're watching at a later date, maybe early in the morning or late at night, make sure you have a drink. It really doesn't matter. Put a little brandy in your coffee if it's morning. Nobody's watching, and remember, it's always 5 o'clock somewhere. Today, I'm drinking expired Dorothy's New World Lager, and you'll know why in a minute. Well, I usually drink, if you're a regular viewer, you know I usually drink expired Bud Light. But last week, I had Kathy Goodman on as my guest, and we finished all of the back stock of our expired Bud Light. You see, in March, when we had to close, unfortunately, we were left with a large stock of beer, and it expired. It's not really expired. It's more like past its best buy date. So I'm Irish, and I don't like to waste beer. So I want to let everybody know we have made it through the Bud Light, and we have moved on to Dorothy's New World Lager. Very excited. Can't drink unless I say, Oh, I did. Before I get started, I'd like to thank all of the people out there that are making this happen. Michelle Blanchard, our marketing director and box office manager, who this show was her idea, and she forces me to do it every week, although I must say, it has become the highlight of my week. So thank you, Michelle. Tracy Richardson, our technical director, who sets up all of the technical stuff. And I want to thank Tracy for always being so patient and teaching me things. For example, did you know there's only one way to roll up an extension cord? I lived 56 years before I found that out. But now I know the correct way. Well, I don't really know the correct way. I know that I'm doing it wrong. Also, I'd like to thank Austin McElroy, our man for all things streaming. Austin's name, when you look at it, it looks like McElroy. And if you call him McElroy, he'll just let you do that for 2 or 3 years and not correct you. And then you'll find out the correct way to pronounce his name and you'll say it. And finally, last but not least, we want to thank our volunteer extraordinaire, our cameraman, Stephen Dobyhall. We love Stephen. Now, if you're a regular viewer, you know that we have been trying to find a girlfriend for Stephen and using this show as a platform to do that. Well, I am happy to report that we have received a very promising application. Unfortunately, she didn't say her picture, or I'd have Austin put it up on the screen. But her name is Pat. I'm assuming that's short for Patricia. Well, we're back. I guess we had a little technical difficulty. That's never happened on with Frank before, but they let us talk and drink for about a half an hour, so we're already pretty looped up here. But I think where we left off, I was thanking our very special volunteer, Stephen Dobyhall. If you're a regular viewer, you know that we have been trying to find Stephen a girlfriend and using this platform to do it. Well, I'm happy to report that we have received a very promising application. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to send a picture, or I'd have Austin put it up for you to see on your screen. Her name is Pat. I'm assuming that's short for Patricia. And Pat is from Canada. But she is willing to relocate here for the right man. Pat has many of the qualities we're looking for, or what we're looking for Stephen. Pat loves theater, especially musical theater and show tunes. Pat's idols are Patti LuPone, Bette Midler, and Bernadette Peters, just like me.
Me too.
Pat is also a performer and hosts a karaoke night at a bar called the bear's den. That sounds like fun. It must be out in the woods somewhere up there in Canada. Did I mention Pat is from Canada? Pat has dabbled in the technical side of community theater and is equally comfortable helping out with hair and makeup or wielding a power tool. The stuff Pat likes about Stephen, well, Pat does theater, so she knows that if Stephen is a stage manager, he must be very well organized and not afraid to be dominant when required. I'm just reading here what Pat wrote. Now, due to COVID, Pat knows that she and Stephen are not going to meet in person for a while, but is requesting that Stephen send lots of photos and videos to keep Pat warm during the long Canadian winter. Well, there it is, folks. We found Stephen a girlfriend in Canada. It sounds like Pat could really be the one. Well, enough about Stephen. Because I don't like to admit to drinking alone, each week here on with Frank, I have a very special guest, and today it's the lovely and talented Dorothy Jo Oberfoell.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to with Frank.
Thank you.
Dorothy Jo, did I pronounce your name right?
Usually I pronounce it Oberfoell,
Not Oberfoell.
but I think I should do that now.
You could change it. Well,
Yeah.
what are you drinking, Dorothy Jo?
Expired Dorothy's New World Lager.
That's right. We're drinking it in honor of Dorothy. No, we're drinking it just because I like to drink.
It's good. It's good. Recommend.
You know the rules. Every time I say or ah, we each have to take a drink. So I just said two. Oh, you're ahead of the game. I've directed Dorothy Jo in a show, so I know she's a quick study. Dorothy Jo, for someone so young,
Yes.
you have a very long history here at the Grand, dating way back to 2005, when you were in several junior productions.
I was.
Tell us about those.
All right. Well, my first show ever was Annie Jr., and I was an orphan.
Yay.
I made my debut. And that show happened before the Grand had their renovation inside the theater. So during our performances, there were bats that flew out from the theater and over the audience, and our poor Annie was petrified, and it did not go well. But she powered through. We finished
Powered
the
through.
show.
Did all the orphans? Was
No
she the
one.
only one
She
was
was
scared?
the only one that was really scared.
The rest of the orphans were very brave.
Yes, I think it happened during Tomorrow is when the bats flew out. So it really was just Annie, and she was by herself.
The bats will come
bats
out
were-
tomorrow
Oh, yeah.
and nest in your hair and bite you
know,
and
she
give
was
you
only like
rabies.
10.
Well, that's fine. Well, Annie's supposed to be that
I-
at 10.
I know
How old
she-
were you?
I don't remember. I was like
2005.
seven.
Do the math.
I no.
We can help. What year were you born?
No, I was in second grade. So that
Okay,
was
so you're probably
what,
7, 8.
Yeah.
So you were
yeah.
younger than her. But
I was younger
You
than
were
her.
not scared of those bats.
Yeah.
Well, that was before bats gave people COVID.
You're
So maybe we should be just a
You're
little
right.
more conscious of that
You're
and a little
right,
more accepting
but-
of that poor Annie.
yes.
So what I see other junior shows here on there.
I did Cinderella Jr., Aladdin Jr., and Peter Pan Jr.
Did you fly?
No, I was a lost boy.
Did
in Peter
anybody
Pan.
fly?
No, I don't think we had that here. I
Just
don't
get maybe
remember.
pushed from the
Yeah,
rails?
I think it was just like a jump thing.
Jump thing.
Yeah,
Jump thing.
I don't think they flew.
So you were a lost boy. Well, that's kind of a little segue here. Now,
Oh.
I know a little about your family, so you must have
That's a
a lot of
good segue.
experience with
Yeah.
lost boys.
Yes.
So you are the oldest of how many children?
I am the oldest of 7 children.
And the 6 below you are all?
They're all boys.
Wow.
Yes.
What's it like being a big sister to that many brothers?
You know, I don't know anything different. So.
You don't? Or did you say
Did you
some-
say Did you say
Well,
Oh,
you
I
just
thought
did
you
3
just
times
grabbed-
now.
Oh.
Okay, you've got 15 seconds to say your brother's first, middle, and last names all in a row, starting with the youngest to the oldest. Go!
Truman Vincent Oberfoell, Pierce William Oberfoell, Lincoln Aloysius Oberfoell, Pierce William Oberfoell, Wilson Peter Oberfoell, Carter John Oberfoell, Grant Robert Oberfoell.
You lose!
I said them out of order.
That's fine. They're great names, though. Your
I know.
parents like presidents.
Kind of, yeah. Well, the Grant, Carter, and Wilson, I believe, they just like the names. But then when Pierce was
So they
coming
didn't
along,
like those presidents.
they didn't know that those were president. Well, they didn't like make the connection that the presidential names
Really, Carter,
were
you
that.
could figure out that?
No, I don't. Well, I think Carter. I remember. I think Carter was from ER, the show ER. There's Dr. Carter.
Noah Wiley.
Yes.
Yummy.
So yeah. So that my brother's name is Carter. I think from that show. But then someone pointed out when Pierce was born or was going to be born that those were presidential names that narrowed down the pool of picking out names.
This was a tangent we had no idea we were going to do, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
Anything about Cinderella or Aladdin that you remember specifically before we move on?
Not really.
Well,
I have an embarrassing story.
That's good. Those are the best kind.
In Aladdin, we did the Friend Like Me song, so there's the genie, there's all these kid dancers, and we were supposed to do some tumbling, and I forgot how to do a somersault in front of everyone.
Could you do one now?
I will not do one now.
Oh,
but
sassy.
I guess I could. But I, promptly forgot how to do a somersault, and I was so embarrassed.
That does seem kind of basic for like an 8-year-old to be able
I
to
mean,
do something. And that's what passed for tumbling?
Well, I didn't.
Or other kids could do
Other
better
kids
things.
were doing cartwheels and tumbling passes, and I was like, "Oh, I can do a somersault," and then I
do
got
what you
up there
can.
and I forgot.
Well, that's great. So
I was so sad.
I know here at the Grand, we had a long history of children's theater.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were in the very last grouut that did it before it went
Yes.
away for a little while.
Yes.
So that must so you're the first person I've talked to from that era. So I'm really glad to catch up on it. And who were your directors back then? Were
Megan Schumacher and Brandon Pape did both of them.
Great.
Or
And
all
Megan
of them.
is Rising Star now.
And Megan,
so
yes,
wonderful.
Megan now works with Rising Star, or she
And Washington.
in
Middle
Washington,
School.
and I think she helps with
See
senior.
my nieces and stuff. That's fantastic.
Yes, and so Nick Halder also
Yes.
co-does.
So one of the things I
Rising
love
Star.
about Dubuque is we really all try to get along. So I think that's I've seen many of their shows and I think they're great.
Yeah.
But we have brought children's theater back to the Grand
Yes.
when I came, and Aladdin Jr. was the very first show we did here once I came back.
Yeah, I helped choreograph it.
Oh, you did?
I did.
That wasn't even on my list of
I
things to
know.
talk
I
about. Well,
forgot
let's
about
talk
it
about
until
it.
right now. Well, because I don't want to jump ahead on our timeline of my shows, but it was
I don't think that one's listed.
during.
Okay, don't talk about it then.
okay.
We're fine.
All right,
So we know
yeah.
that Dorothy Joe's a choreographer. She taught all those kids to do somersaults.
I did.
Were these your very first theater experiences, or did you have theater experiences other places before that?
In grade school, at my school, we did some
Okay, you say it, I drink too. It's not just me.
I'm glad I'm off book.
We're gonna give Dorothy Joe a ride home.
In grade school,
It's gonna be a long interview.
Okay.
Now focus.
In grade school, we did smaller shows, but they were not like fairy tales or anything. It was really basic things. So this was my first community public performance.
Is this where you got bit by the acting bug, or was it in those earlier times, or what made you think you want to do this? And did you know way back then that this is what you were going to do with the rest of your life? Or maybe you're not.
No,
I don't know.
Well, I wanted to actually do ballet. I wanted to be a dancer. Before I really knew what theater was, I wanted to be a dancer. But then I didn't really get into training or dance classes or anything. I mean, I did a little bit later, but not as
You're a
intently
very good
as I
dancer.
thought. Thank you. I wanted to do corps de ballet kind of thing. For some reason, that was my goal. But then I never really took a lot of ballet. So here we are. It's okay. It's all good.
It is. You're very
I'm a big
well-rounded.
fan.
You're great.
Thanks.
And all that dance pays off in the wonderful shows you do.
Yeah.
But you're all grown up now.
You're so right.
So I'm going to ask Austin to put up the first picture here. It's of your wonderful headshot, very professional quality.
thank
Who
you.
took this?
Brandon Dahlquist in Chicago.
Ooh.
I know.
Fancy. So, Dorothy Joe sent me her headshot and her resume. So I've got both of those. It's very professional. Lots of times I critique people's resumes, And I think yours is really well laid out. I like that
you.
you have it broke out into regional and educational theater.
Thank you.
There's some things that you don't include, but we'll talk about that later.
I know.
I like your special skills. Stage combat, hand-to-hand, intermediate rapier and dagger, broadsword and shield. What do you got to do to get advanced in that? Just like kill somebody?
Probably more shows than I have done.
Well, you also have intermediate roller skating. Does that mean you just like occasionally fall down? But
Well,
most of the time you stay upright? Do
Yeah.
you think you could be in Starlight Express?
I would love that, actually. I have done Xanadu. I would love to do it again, and I would love to do Starlight Express.
Ooh. Everything, most things here are intermediate sewing skills.
Right.
You're just not a braggart. Just
Sure,
get
you
rid
can
of the
say that.
intermediate.
You
People
could-
don't care.
You're right.
I'm
Well,
going
the thing
to
with
criticize
sewing-
your resume here.
Okay, that's
it's
fine.
like you got
I'll take
rapier and
notes.
dagger skills and all that. Just put it down.
You're right.
Just don't qualify it.
You're right.
Now, you have a valid driver's license. Is that intermediate?
I
Or
don't.
just or can you drive all the way?
I hope I can drive.
Tonight? Maybe not. We'll see.
We'll see, I guess.
And you've got a U.S. passport. Okay, you can always escape if you need to. Well, that was fun. I've lost my place. What were we talking about, Dorothy Joe? Oh, that's right.
Oh,
We're all
how-
grown up. Well, it's a tough time for young people in theater
You're
right now with
so
COVID.
right.
Where do you think you'd be if it weren't for COVID? Would you be here living with all your brothers? Or would you be on Broadway, Hollywood, Las Vegas?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I did have work lined up to be in Kentucky for the summer.
Where?
In Danforth.
You're very self-aware. Lots of people don't catch it when they're saying it. Apparently, people
Welcome
tell
to my
me I don't
speech
catch it.
pattern. I'm off book. I was supposed to be in Kentucky for the summer doing 5 shows
Wow.
for the summer, yes, but that got canceled with COVID. Unfortunately,
understand.
it was at the Pioneer Playhouse, which is the oldest outdoor theater in Kentucky. After that, I was thinking I was going to be in Chicago or move to Chicago maybe, but now who's to say?
That's what I always thought I would end up in Chicago. And I
Yeah.
spent one winter in Chicago. And then I went to Florida, and then I spent most of the rest of the time. But Chicago, I think being from this area,
Yeah.
it's a short drive, thriving theater scene. I still think you could
We
go
could.
to Chicago. Yeah,
We
absolutely.
could. I don't know. Now
Absolutely.
now the world's our oysters, kind of.
Absolutely. That's
Pre-COVID, but
fantastic.
yeah.
Well, here on with Frank, we like to break up these interviews with shameless plugs.
Oh, yes.
Now, I'm going to enlist your help with this. Whenever I point at you like this,
Oh.
you say, it's time for shameless plugs. So can we try that?
Sure. It's time for shameless plugs.
That was pretty good. You'll get a
Okay.
lot more opportunities
You're
to
so
do
right.
it. But in any case, the Grand is a 501c3 organization. And now more than ever, we need your support. Please consider donating to the Grand. You can make a one-time or reoccurring donation by visiting the Grand's website, www.thegrandoperahouse.com. Dorothy Joe, as I said, you have a long list of credits at the Grand.
I do.
Tell me about your first non-junior shows, or the grown-up shows.
The grown-up shows. I did. My first grown-up show at the Grand was The Phantom of the Opera. That was in
Oh,
2000.
I've seen The Phantom
11.
once.
Yes.
That was in 2011, and then we're going to look at photos of these in a minute, but let's just talk through them. Next one, also in 2011, you remember what you did? It's a quiz. It was a holiday show.
Oh, White Christmas.
White Christmas, that's great. Any special memories about White Christmas? Because I don't have a picture of that.
I don't think so. No.
No? Okay, well, that's fine.
I mean, it was fun. Sure.
Sweeney Todd in 2012. I'm sorry,
yes.
you're supposed to be doing this. What did
Oh,
you do
it's
in
really
2013?
Les Mis.
No, wrong. Well, true. Yes,
I
you
did do Les Mis.
You did do
9
Les
to
Mis, but
5
you had
and Les
one
Mis
before
were-
that.
Oh, Oliver? Oh,
No, wrong. 14. You've done this show twice, Dorothy
oh
Joe.
9 to 5.
9 to 5,
Yes,
right.
The only show I've done twice.
Okay. So
Super fan.
I don't have a picture of 9 to 5, but I know, well, we'll talk, we got a story about 9 to 5, but we're going through our archives right now.
Yes, of course.
And some years have better documentation than others. So we're going to take a look at a few of the shows you've done. So, Austin, if you could put up that first Phantom photo, that would be great. So this is a group shot. Now, Dorothy Jo, where are you in this picture?
Well, I thought I was the one that's the second one in with the face being covered up, but before we filmed, I was informed.
Well, you're not supposed to say that.
Well,
You
I had
said
to say
that
it.
this is spontaneous.
Well, I was informed that it was not me because they cropped
Let's
the
just
picture.
move to the next photo since she's already screwed this up. So the next photo, here we see a blow up of you. So you indeed are not the person with your face covered up. You are who?
I'm the one who's not spatially aware. I'm covering the person's face.
Who is that person you're covering?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's not important, obviously. You've got
clearly.
a face covered up.
Clearly.
Now, do you remember any of these guys in the pointy helmets?
Luke Kelly is in one of them.
Which one is Luke?
I
don't think he's there.
don't know.
Maybe he's in the big, like before we zoomed
Cropped
in.
it out. I don't know. We did do the show together in high school, though, and we played. I was Carlotta, and he was Piangi, so we were a little dynamic
we were
duo.
going to talk about your high school shows a little later. So
But anyway.
Let's go to the next photo. This is a photo of Sweetie Todd, and it is also a group shot, and I have no idea where or even if you are in this photo.
I'm positive. Well, maybe I'm not that positive. I think I am the one on the top of the railings.
Okay, there are people. There are
If you
little
can- you
people
can't see
crouching down.
There are people crouching down. I think I'm the one that's on the stage right.
Okay.
In the middle.
Anything you remember about Sweeney Todd you want to share with us? I love that show.
Right. That's the only Sondheim show I've ever done to this day, which is wild.
Wrong!
Oh,
We'll get to
you're
that
so-
later. Sorry.
You're so right. I didn't think about that.
I guess lyrics don't count.
You're
Go on,
so
continue.
right.
So you're up there, Sweetie Todd, one of my favorites.
Well, I had never done a show that creepy before because it's an intense, creepy show.
I noticed I was really nervous because the lift is down. Was that an accident? I was afraid somebody was going to fall in.
No, Sweeney Todd, from what I remember, came up through the lift, but at the beginning of the show, there were the two narrators that had lanterns, and it was all foggy on the stage and mist, and we all came out, and then the trap was down, and then Sweeney emerged.
That's great. It's
think.
always been one of my dream roles, since it came out when I was in high school. That's how old it is. And now I'm actually too old to play Sweeney.
I think you could do it.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Sure, absolutely.
But, think of it, he went away, he got shipped away. At the time, you're thinking, oh, God, he's been away for 20 years. He'd be in his 40s. How old? And now I'm almost 60. It's like, okay, right. Please, I'm the judge.
You would be. I think you'd be great at all of them. I think you'd be a great Pirelli,
God,
too.
deliver me. Let's go to the next photo. This is, we're going to skip right over here.
Oliver.
We skipped, sorry, I didn't have any photos of you in Les Mis.
I was hardly in it. It's so fun.
You were hardly.
Well, because Did
you die? Almost everybody dies.
No, unless you are the main women in Les Mis, you only sing turning, turning.
That's it?
Yeah. That's it. Unless you're a whore in the dock scene. So
okay.
That's it.
So let's move on to the next photo here. This is, what is this?
This is Oliver.
Oliver.
Oliver, yes.
That's great. In summer of 2014. And who were you in Oliver?
I don't remember because I remember being asked why I auditioned for the show because I was so randomly in it.
But here in the photo.
But so then I was made as the caricature. So I was this like bird lady. I made this hat that had all these feathers on it.
So for the audience, tell people where you are.
So I'm the one wearing the hat with the cane
left.
that has birds on it.
Okay.
With the multicolored skirt.
I didn't realize Oliver had a bird lady, sort of like Mary Poppins. Well, they're both in London.
It's
Maybe
the same.
this is the bird lady before she got old.
You're right. I think this is probably. I think that makes sense.
Oliver's sort of, Dickensian. Imagine the bird lady. She does it for
In
like
her
50
youth.
more years, and then she becomes the bird lady in Mary Poppins in Feed the Birds. There's a big backstory. I guess it's a forward story.
Should I write this?
Yeah, I think this is
I
good.
think
We
this
could
is
write a
good.
whole musical about the bird lady.
I think that's what I should do at this time of pandemic.
Indeed. We're going to move on. Okay, we've gone through those photos, so that must mean that it is
Time for a shameless plug.
the Grand Opera House, in partnership with the Iowa Rock and Roll Association, presents Maddie Poppy's Acoustic Christmas. Joined the season 16 American Idol winner and Iowa native Maddie Poppy for an intimate night of music at the Grand Opera House. Since her Idol victory, Maddie has been in high demand, before COVID, appearing on multiple TV shows, including Jimmy Kimmel Live, Live with I'm so old, Live with Kelly and Ryan, and performing at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles, the Special Olympics, the CMA Fest in Nashville, and now she's going to be performing at the Grand. Maddie's new album, Christmas from Home, will be released on November 20th and can be pre-saved. That's a word I didn't know. Pre-saved on Spotify now. Due to socially distanced seating, tickets are extremely limited and must be reserved by phone or in person by calling the Grand Opera House box office. Really, there aren't a whole lot of tickets left. So if you're going to want to see Maddie Poppy, you get on the phone tomorrow or you get down here to get tickets for this show. Box office hours are noon to 4, so don't show up before noon. I'm not going to help you. Michelle's going to have to do that. Monday through Friday, or call the box office at 563-588-1305. Make that call right at noon. I want to hear those phones ringing. A live stream option will be available for this concert at a later date. So if you don't get those tickets reserved, you'll still be able to see the show via live streaming. For more information on this and other events, visit the Grand On Demand webpage on the Grand website. Grand On Demand is something new we're doing. Isn't that a clever name?
I love that, yeah.
It talks about all the stuff we're doing because we're doing so much stuff that's both live and virtual or stuff. So it talks about what we're going to do. It also has archives of stuff that we've done in the past. So for instance, you could go back and see past episodes of with Frank. Well, you kept your streak of summer shows going, doing shows in 2014 and 2015. I found several photos from each of these, and it looks like you're really growing up. So let's take a look at these pictures. Okay, the first one here is from what? What show is this?
The Producers.
Yes, you have really grown up. You're an
Yes.
old lady.
I think I aged pretty well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
This is what number in the Producers? Who are you here?
So my character as an old lady was Hold Me, Touch Me.
Hold Me, Touch Me.
Yes, that was her name.
Sounds like it's from Rocky Horror, which we did
Well,
at home.
Ba-doop boop. So she was one of the ladies that was seduced in order to get her money in order for them
She
to become the
invested in the
producers.
show.
So yes, so they got her money to invest in the show. So in this scene,
And you are, just for the viewers out there, because you all are wearing the same costume.
We are.
Which one are you?
I'm the one who is singing the most properly.
So you're in the front row on the far right,
Yes.
going, ooh. What do you think you're singing there?
Ooh.
Hold, ooh. Oh, you're singing
Yes.
ooh. Okay.
I believe this
Whose
is in
arm
the
is
judge
that?
scene. Probably Austin Ray's.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, that
Back
was
in
a
the
little
back in
segment.
the day. I don't think I'm taking enough drinks of this. Okay. Yes, so this scene is the judge scene. So they are taken to court because they find out the show. I don't know if you remember the plot of this.
Oh, this is kind of at the end.
This is sort of at the end,
I was
yes.
trying
When
to
they
do
find
these
out
chronologically, but I
that
really
they were
pooped up.
actually trying to mess up the whole producing of the show anyway, so then they bring in the ladies. I think all of these ladies are supposed to be the jury.
Okay.
So
Let's
yes.
move on to the
Anyway.
next photo here. So next photo here, one of my first guests on with Frank was Aaron Goner, who was there
Our
playing.
star.
Who's he playing in here?
Which one was he? The
It's not Max. It's
Bialystok and Bloom.
Bloom. Right, he's Bloom. So we know he's in the middle. Where are you?
I'm the one who is doing the little pose with
Can you
my arms.
stand up and do that
Should
for
I
us?
do that again?
So people know. She's the one doing that. Excellent.
That's me. A classic pose, if you will. Yes.
What number is this?
This is in I Want to Be a Producer when Bloom is deciding, he's in his office job, and he's like, I want to be a producer. And
Sort
then,
of a fantasy scene?
yes, a fantasy scene ensues, and all of these showgirls come out. And
Okay, well, let's go
we
to the
dance.
next. Sorry, were you talking?
no.
Let's go to the next photos because it's about showgirls. You're still in that same costume, but I love this one. And where are
Yes.
you in this one? Which,
I'm the one that's the second in on the
From the right.
On the right.
yes. Adorable.
Ad-
That's great.
yes.
Let's move on to the next producer's photo here. Where are you at in this photo?
I am in the fur coat, the white
fur coat. I wore a
and-
white fur coat for our here at with Frank.
You said it
we
again.
are so fortunate enough to have a refrigerated plant. So when I run out of beer, you can always get more cold ones out of the plant.
I'm not taking enough sips, apparently.
Well, you're maybe not taking as big as sips.
You're right.
But I do. I owe you one here.
It's okay. It's so
So
funny.
in any case, I wore a white fur coat for
be-
one of the night. We did 4 showings. I had a completely different ensemble for each showing. It was
Yes.
so fun.
You looked
So
fabulous.
and let's talk about you in the show here. So what number is this and who is that in the middle there?
So, what?
You were talking about you're in the white coat.
This is, I know, I'm trying to think of what song is this? This is
I
this.
wouldn't know. You were in the show, not me.
This scene is not really in my radar. He's singing about what it's like to be a producer, I think, or what he would do. And then all of these townspeople come in, or random folks come in and are kind of
You
an
don't look like
ensemble.
townspeople.
Well,
you look like hookers.
I was the only one.
Okay.
I was the only one.
And that's Austin Ray in the top hat.
Austin Ray. Yes. Yes, that's Austin.
Okay. Well, good.
I forgot
Oops,
about
I
this
got
show.
to drink if I say ah.
You do? I'm glad we don't have to if
We
I
both do.
If I
Anytime-
do.
Either one of us.
Oh.
Maybe that's the problem. You're not drinking when I'm saying. Come on, keep up. Let's move on to your 2015 production. And this was my very first summer at the Grand.
Yes.
So I was excited.
Yes.
I started in May of 2015. So both the summer shows were cast. And
right.
And what show did you do?
Cabaret.
Cabaret, and you played
Helga,
one of the
one of the Kit Kat girls.
Great. Well, I got the job. I saw the season. I called people and I said, Cabaret, that's fantastic.
it.
And they tell me that the MC is 16. And I go, oh my God, what are they doing Cabaret with 16? But he was fantastic.
He was. Aiden's
You were
great.
all fantastic.
Thank you.
But okay, let's look at this first photo from Cabaret here. So it's a big group shot, and that's Aiden McSpearin in the middle,
Yes.
surrounded pretty much by the whole company. And it's the first time I saw Michelle. The first time I saw Michelle Blanchard costumes.
Right, isn't it?
were
Oh, I love
fantastic.
it.
There was so much color. It was like it was just Cabaret. You know, you kind of come to expect something. This one had everything in but a special twist. I love the color. I
know.
love
It's
it
one
was
of my
wacky.
favorite
It was great.
shows.
So where are you in this photo?
I don't know.
Well, come on. You
I
must be
was
somewhere-
trying to look. I think I don't know.
What?
I'm supposed to wear all green. I don't know where I am.
They cut you out of the picture?
I think I might have been cut out of the picture.
What?
I'm
Well,
not offended. It's fine.
Let's go to the next photo, and you may remove your little special seal, and we see where you are. Go to the next photo. Okay, where are you now? There you are, all in
Oh,
green, and it
my.
looks like you have your hand on Texas's butt. What's going on there? Well, it is Cabaret.
Well, it's Cabaret. I'm glad that I didn't. I was like, that is not me. I thought the other ones
So
was
we
me.
do go look at the first picture. You can see your hand. You are in that picture,
I am.
but it's just your hand, and you're touching
It's
Texas,
so fine.
as we all like to touch.
I wore a lot
Texas.
of green. It was really fun.
There's so many
It was
great
good
people
colors.
in this that I didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
I know there's
head's
there's
like
Luke
in this.
Kelly,
Yes, the Kelly's
Connor
in
Rebarger.
this. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I ummed.
Oh.
Now I did it again.
Here we go. Who else?
Okay, let's move on to the next cabaret photo.
Oh, yes.
Here you are as a...
As I think I'm in this. I don't think I'm in this picture.
You're a Kit Kat girl. That's
I am a
not
Kit
you in
Kat
the
girl.
green?
No, that's not me.
Oh. Well, sorry.
That's okay.
I thought it was you.
That's okay. I don't think that's me. I think the one.
You just got cut out of this photo too?
think so.
Were you in this number? I'm assuming it's
think
either
so.
Don't Tell Mama or...
This one is Don't Tell Mama with the masks. I somehow remember that after all this time.
Were you in that number?
Yes.
Well, I apologize
It's
to
so
you and to the
No, it's
viewers
okay.
for putting up a
It's
photo
so
here.
fine. Look at
I did
Joe.
not give Dorothy Jo access to these photos
really
until she got here tonight, so
It's
please
so
do
fine.
not blame her. I assumed that once I saw that green costume,
No, it's
but
so
you're
okay.
right. In the first green costume, you're sleeveless. I thought maybe they just gave you a little
No, it's okay.
little special
I
top.
thought I was. No, it's all fine. I'm not.
Well, I've really goofed up
no,
here.
look
I'm
at Jill. Looks so fabulous
so
in here. It's really
embarrassed.
fine.
Keep talking while I find my place.
Okay, sure.
Uh,
Well, it was fun.
we
Cabaret.
drink when I say ah too. Now I said ah twice. No, that's 3 times. It's really hard once
Hmm.
you start talking about your mistakes.
So fun. Cabaret's still a dream show for me. How's that? I want
Still
to
a
do
dream
it again.
show,
Like I
meaning-
want to do it again. I would like to do it
Do you
multiple
want to be
times.
Sally,
I would. I
or do
think
you want to be the MC? I would love to see a female MC.
I would love all of it.
think
As many opportunities as possible. I would
Are
partake.
you a fan of Schitt's Creek?
Yes.
You watch it? Oh my God, the cabaret there. It just
I love
you
it.
could be a Stevie. I think that.
That's what I needed to
Oh my
hear.
God, who is? I'm losing my mind. I can't remember her name. Mrs. Rose.
Moira?
Moira, but the actress.
Catherine O'Hara? I love her.
Catherine O'Hara, her speech to Stevie before she goes on. Sometimes it's for me. I watch the show now. I've seen it like the whole series like 3 times. I watch it like an album, going through my favorite songs. I will fast forward to special scenes I like, and I always watch that one because it's just such a great.
It's so
she's
good.
so brilliant, and Stevie's so brilliant. It's like the perfect pep talk. She says, "You are cool," and I think Dorothy Jo, you are cool. You will make it wherever you go. If I could be Catherine O'Hara, that's what I would say to you.
Thank you.
Well, in any case, we talked enough about that. Oh no, sorry, I have one more question here. Dorothy Jo answers, and we discuss cabaret, and I will ask her about her high school performing experiences. Okay, we sort of skipped over high school, like we've experienced high
Yes.
school from the Grand, but
Yes.
we already know you did Phantom in high school because you let that
I
out of the
know,
bag
cat's
earlier.
out the bag.
What else did you do in high school?
I went to Wahlert. We did
I went to Wahlert.
I know.
Oh my God.
God. Hello. We did Fiddler on the Wait. The first show we did was Xanadu.
Xanadu.
Do. My
Wait,
favorite.
Xanadu's on your thing, but
I
you're not
know.
Wahlert.
I know. I had to put it. I shouldn't have Xanadu on my resume.
Oh, you say Five Flags Theater because you don't want people to think that was a high school show.
Don't out my resume to everyone.
That's
don't do
fine. I
that.
was assuming you did Xanadu at Rising Star or something because it said
They
Five
did
Flags
do
Theater.
well. They did do it later, but I wasn't able to do that show.
Well, I was at Five.
Anyway.
That's the first theater I ever performed in.
It's
Was
Five
Five
Flags?
Flags. It's
Wow,
still-
it's
I'm so
gorgeous.
glad Wahlert has moved here now, and we are so happy that we host them for like 40 years. They
Right.
did their shows there,
Oh.
and that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
We did Xanadu and then
And
Fiddler
you
on the
roller
Roof.
skated
I did.
intermediately.
Yes, it was very intermediately. We did Fiddler on the Roof, and I played Yenta, who's
Yenta?
the oldest of them.
What year were you then?
I was a sophomore in high school.
A sophomore. Yes, that's great.
Yep. And when I auditioned for Zeidel, who's the oldest of the daughters,
Mm-hmm.
and she sings some of the solos in Matchmaker, and then when she sings Matchmaker,
Yenta's a
she-
great role.
right,
You know who
oh.
originated the role?
I should.
You should.
You're going to tell me though.
B. Arthur.
I love it. You're right. I forgot.
Yes.
I do love her. I'm a Golden Girls fan.
Okay.
But anyway,
That's how young she is. Golden Girls. Maud
I-
for me.
well, and then she was also in MAME.
Yes. Vera.
I love it. I love it. Anyway, when I auditioned for Zeidel at Wallert to be Zeidel, hopefully, but the version, what? Hello.
I think Dorothy Jo's a lightweight.
No, this is a lot of memories I had thought about in a minute.
I sent you the questions ahead of time. You had time to think about them.
We did not discuss Fiddler on the Roof. When
But
I
it said
auditioned,
high school. That's like you got the thing. I will ask you about your high school performing
I
experience.
skimmed it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So-
I know you're busy.
Well,
Finish.
anyway, when I auditioned, I sang the part of Zeidel where she mimics the matchmaker, Yenta. And I think that's what got me Yenta, was because I was so great at being Yenta that they just couldn't pass me up as that role. Because with the girls who were cast as the daughters and matchmaker, our director brought me in to recreate my audition in order to sing as Yenta for them.
That's great. But that wasn't your first. That was the second show.
That was my sophomore year.
Xanadu was you were in the show. You were in the musical your freshman year.
I was.
Wow, that's kind of a big deal,
It
isn't
was
it,
a big
getting in?
deal. It was a big deal. So
My first show was my sophomore year, and I'm
Oh.
not. I'm not going to say a lot about it
Oh,
because
okay.
there's a seedy, dark history that we don't want to get into.
Oh.
But it
Oh.
was Showboat.
Oh.
And
yes. Okay.
The lead in Showboat is Gaylord Ravenel, and it's the very first audition I'd ever been to, and I'm supposed to read the line, and the line is, like, "What are you doing, gay?" Meaning Gaylord Ravenel. That's not the exact line, but that's, and I'm like, "What are you doing, gay?" So distinctly remember that.
Oh.
So, but in any case,
Anyway,
I got a really good part.
I'm glad.
But we won't talk about it.
That's fine. That's okay. I'm
Why an
trying-
all-white school would do Showboat, I have no idea. Go on, finish your story.
Well, so let's see. These are, I guess, the musicals we're talking about. So I did Fiddler on the Roof, and then we did The Drowsy Chaperone. Yes, and what was my character's name? I was the old lady again. And then
You have such versatility.
that's what I'm
You
told.
can play young, you can play old,
Yes, that's what
in
I'm told.
between.
Sometimes, if I'm given the
Sometimes, okay.
chance. And then junior year, the show that really got me interested in actually going to theater school was Two Rooms, the play Two Rooms by Lee Blessing, which is a 4-person play that Aaron Goner was also in, and Luke Kelly and Megan Kane, who also has done some shows here before.
I know all of those people.
I know. So we did that show my junior year, and it's about the Iranian hostage crisis
Very
in the 70s.
serious.
It was, and surprising we did it, but that was a show that really got me interested in actually doing theater and wanting to do that more.
I kind of appreciate it when you say it.
I'm glad because I say it often, I'm realizing. So we did that junior year with The Drowsy Chaperone, and then senior year we did The Phantom of the Opera, and like I said, I played Carlotta, and I sang all the high
Carlotta?
notes, I know, and then Luke Kelly was Piangi, so we were
you
a
just
dynamic
said-
duo.
That Something was the only show you've done twice, but now you've mentioned Phantom twice.
We
You've
didn't
done
even talk
multiple
about
shows
9 to
twice.
5.
Oh,
9 to
right.
5 and
Oh,
Phantom
sorry,
of the
we're
Opera
getting
are
into
the
that
only
later.
shows
You've
I've
done
done.
several shows twice.
Only 2, 9 to 5 and Phantom of the
We're
Opera.
going to have to move on.
Oh, fine. Go for it. Oh, what's my line? It's time for shameless plugs.
135
so
Live
flustered.
is a weekly Friday night concert series happening live from the grand stage featuring local musicians and performers. Performances will have a small, socially distanced audience in the theater, as well as a virtual audience through our streaming options. Tomorrow night, Friday, October 13th, Friday the 13th, will be our final 135 Live for 2020. Thank God we're moving out of 2020. And we will be showcasing The Struggle. Life can be such a struggle, so do what you love and dance while you can. The Struggle is a 5-piece band based out of Dubuque. They perform covers of favorites from all sorts of genres, but add their own flair of funk and soul. So have your own dance party. You know what? I think people should have a dance party. No, you should come to the theater, definitely, and watch it. But if you can't come to the theater, have a dance party at home and take pictures and send them to Michelle, and we'll post them on Facebook, and then I'll think of a really good prize to give you. And anyway, 135 live concerts and streams begin at 7:30, and the stream remains active and available until the following Monday. So if you don't get a chance to watch in real time, you can still enjoy the concerts throughout the weekend. For tickets to be part of the live audience or get access to the live stream, please check out the Grand On Demand page on our website, www.thegrandoperahouse.com, or call or visit our box office. I'm still reading pretty good at this point. So, you finish high school, you perform in cabaret, and then you are off to
college to get more
Yay! And
knowledge.
where'd you go to college?
I went to Viterbo University in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Fantastic.
I know.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your college experience.
Well, there's much to discuss. I originally thought I wanted to study musical theater at college, but then when...
You didn't study musical theater?
No.
Well, this is new info to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
What'd
I
you
did
study?
not. So I auditioned for the musical theater program, but because I auditioned so late, there were not enough spots available for me to fill. So I
Do they not know how talented you are?
Well, when I auditioned, I don't. It was not my best showcase. We'll just say that too. I sang "Diva's Lament" from Spamalot a cappella.
Okay.
Don't ever do that. Oh, don't ever do that.
You did a little ah there. Oh, and then I said one. You are taking tiny sips.
I am. I have
That's
to
fine.
sing later.
Oh, fine. No, you gave that away.
Well,
Okay, go
I
ahead.
will sing later. Anyway, so I was not a musical theater student. So I came into Viterbo as a BA in theater, which is their general study
Well, that's
program.
good. Still theater.
Right. So then
I
I
was like
went-
thinking you were going to go off and say, oh,
no,
I'm an
no, I
economics
studied
major.
theater, but I didn't study musical theater. So then
Okay, fine.
my freshman year, the first semester, I was determined to re-audition for the musical theater program in order to get my quality education. But then after taking more theater history classes and design and tech classes, and I was working in the costume shop, I did all of this other stuff, I decided that I wanted to actually do acting instead. One is a smaller program, so there were more openings, but also just I wanted to take more of the classes that had more
Well, I
requirements.
think this was ultimately a really good thing.
I think so too, because I was still able to take
You're
voice
really
lessons.
well-rounded.
Yes, and I have a huge interest in theater history, so if anyone wants to talk
Let me
about
tell you a
it,
secret.
let
As
me
a
know.
director and somebody who's run theater companies, I have never, ever once looked at the bottom of someone's resume to see what their degree is in.
Right? See,
It's
see,
not about that.
I know it's what you can bring to the room, and I have a huge interest in plays, so that's part of the acting, like knowing more of
And you're
plays and
obviously
things.
a wonderful musical theater performer.
Thank you. And I did show choir at Viterbo, and then I was still taking voice
You have
lessons
show
and dance
choirs in
classes.
college?
I did show choir at Wahlert. If anyone who knows me knows that. But at Viterbo, it's not competitive show choir. They just have a performance each semester of things. So they still brought in choreographers. We still sometimes went to have performances in Chicago or Minneapolis.
Ooh.
So it was grand. It was fun. So I learned a lot about performing through that, which I wasn't expecting.
I'm sorry for all of you people out there who are show choir people. I did not mean to disparage it in any way. I was in show choir in high school, and we probably did a little show choir stuff in college, but we didn't really talk about it.
Yes, but we did have a actual show choir option, as like you could do men's choir, women's choir, chorale, and then show choir was an option. But
Is this post Glee?
it was post Glee. Also, confession, I've never watched Glee in my life.
First 3 seasons are good.
I've
Don't
never
bother
seen
with the
it,
rest.
and many people are surprised by that. But I said I've never watched it.
Well, I've been to Viterbo several times.
Yes,
It's a
you
lovely
have.
college. I was going to tell a story, but maybe I'll just skip it now.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a great school. But in any case,
Yes.
when I did visit Viterbo, I do want to talk about Sister Marie Leone,
Yes.
who was the theater, like head of the theater department
She
at that
created
time.
the program.
And she had this little dog named Ponce because her name was Leon, so it was Ponce de Leon. And when I first met you, I know we had to talk about this, and at the time, Sister Marie Leon was like, what, 99?
90.
Because I said, oh, she's still not around. But she was.
She was, and
She has
then
since passed.
she
but
has since passed. I think she passed within 5 years ago. I think.
But I was so thrilled to hear that she was still, and was she still living on campus and everything? Or-
No, I think she was in an assisted living home.
Well, how
or
did
a
you
nursing
know
home.
about her? Did she show
Well,
up?
I knew about her because my advisor and theater history
I
professor.
thought you were like best friends.
I wish. I
Okay.
got to meet her once, but my professor and advisor, Janet, was really close with her. She kind of took over
Okay.
some of Sister Marie Leon's duties and stuff for the theater department once Sister retired, or I don't know what.
Whatever nuns do
whatever,
when they go
whatever
away.
she did. So I heard a lot about her and about how she basically started the program. So
I've turned the page here. I hope I'm at the right spot. So college is great. You stay away for a while, but you
did.
got to come back to the Grand.
I
And in
did.
2016 you did for
I did Carousel.
Carousel.
Yes, I
And
was
who did you play?
Carrie Pipridge.
Carrie. That's a great role, and that's a great show.
I know. I was so excited. That was
directed
the
that?
Frank.
Me,
Oh my
right.
god.
And who
I
did we
know.
work with?
Who did we
The
work?
ballet.
Oh, we
It
did
was
work
so
with the ballet.
great.
That's
So you
so
got-
right.
Yes, you were a great Carrie.
Thank you.
What
That's
were- what are
the
your-
only
what-
Rogers and Hammerstein I've ever done.
That's like practically all I've ever done.
And
I'm
I'm a huge Rogers and Hammerstein fan. Anyone who knows me.
So what do you remember about Carousel?
Well, I got the gal who played Julie was Maggie Schmidt, and she's a good friend of mine.
Yes, she was in the producers with
Yes,
you.
she was in the producers, and then Luc Van Meveren played Billy Bigelow, and he was Jean Valjean when we did Les Mis.
Okay.
And I had also worked with him in Phantom of the Opera and Sweeney Todd.
Now, I do remember that you had submitted an audition video
I
for this
did
because you were
I
still
was
away
at
at
school.
college.
I was at school.
And it obviously was good because you got the part.
Obviously.
It was, Carrie is such a fun role.
I do. I think she's so fun.
It's a good role.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at some photos of Carousel
Sure.
here.
Yes.
So we're going to move on. This first photo from Carousel. Oh, I love this photo. It's one of my favorites.
Yes.
Where are you?
I'm the one in the green dress on the far right.
With
My
your
brother
hands on
is
your hips again. This
Oh,
is-
only.
where's
That's
your
how
brother?
my brother Grant, who's the oldest of the
You
boys.
did an there. Oh, and then I said one.
Grant is at the top of the pyramid of the front guys who are kneeling
Got it.
down.
Now, what number is this in?
This is June is busting out all over.
Right.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Is
it is.
Is it? You remember probably better than I do.
Now, it's before the actual song starts.
Right,
There's a
it's-
long
yes.
little versy section.
That's right.
So
Thank you.
this is a little challenge to you. You come bursting out to chastise the men, and what do you sing?
June is busting out
No,
all over.
you
That's
did
my
not.
line. Yeah, it is.
No.
What do I say?
Get away, you know, count nothings with your bellies full of grog. If you packed all your brains in a pollywog's head, you wouldn't even grow to be a frog.
You're right.
Wouldn't even grow to be a frog.
You were right. I forgot.
And what are the guys singing right here? This is one of my favorite lines.
Here, something about the clams.
Look at them clams. Been digging them since on up.
Look at them clams.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I
good.
remember. Oh, okay, I remember.
It's a great photo. I
It
love
is.
I love Carousel.
I
just
do. Now I want to re-listen to it
And
now.
June is Bustin' Over is one of my favorite songs. What I know and what I tried to instill is that, like so many Rodgers and Hammerstein songs, people think of them as trite, you know, or they can be formed that way. But June is Bustin' Out is lusty.
It is.
It is about, you know, hormones.
Do you listen to the
busting out.
lyrics?
Yes, it's
Read them.
absolutely. It is fantastic.
Yes.
Just look at them clams.
We sang June is busting out all over in High V.
Yes, we did a pop-up on June 1st.
And at the airport.
That's right. They just initiated.
It was-
The airport gig was really disappointing.
It
Sorry, I don't mean to.
I have a very
right at the
vivid memory.
airport, but like they
of-
called us, asked us to be there because
Yeah.
the grand opening of the airport. Then they put us down at the baggage
I know.
terminal
I have a-
area, and nobody was
Right.
there.
I have a very vivid
But the
memory
mayor
of wearing
stood
these
there and watched us.
costumes. I know. We were wearing these costumes, singing June is busting out all over in Hy-Vee. A cappella. We did not have any.
Actually, we did not wear the costumes in Hy-Vee because we were trying. It was like a, one of,
trying to
it was
blend
a
in.
flash mob. It was
Oh,
like
you were right.
like
I'm sorry. Yes.
Megan Glossack posted it this past June 1st. So there are videos of it too. Let's go to the next carousel
Wow,
photo.
you're right.
There's you. Tell me what's happening here.
Oh, what is going on here? Let's see. That's Keith Alvin in the back, and the other. What's Keith's last name? And I'm being told off.
And two Keiths. Keith
Yes,
Amundsen.
two Keith. Keith. Thank you. That's his last name. Keith Amundsen, and he was.
Because you have been.
I was apparently flirting with someone,
Yes.
and that was a no-no.
Well, Mr. Snow's got
Mr.
a
Snow,
stick.
that
Mr. Snow has
You know,
issues,
Snow.
and that's what I love about Carrie is she's so full
She's
of
like,
life.
"Nah."
Yeah,
I
so
know.
it's great.
Yes.
Let's move on
yes.
to this next carousel photo. So this is you and your friend,
My friend Maggie Schmidt. Yes.
and now once again you're old
I'm
because
old.
time passes. in
Time has
carousel.
passed. She has a daughter. I have 9 children.
9 children.
And my brothers played some of those children.
That's right. How many total Oberfoels were in that show? Maybe 4?
I don't think that many. I think Pearson, Wilson, and Grant were.
And you.
And me.
That
Well,
makes
4
4.
total. That's 4 total. You're right.
Sorry, you didn't count yourself.
I did not.
That's okay. That's fine.
Yes.
Well, got anything else to say about carousel before we move on?
I don't think so. It was fun. I really want to do more Rogers and
You
Hammerstein.
should.
I do love them.
What would be a
I
Rogers
would love
and
to
Hammerstein?
do Oklahoma.
And who would you be?
Anybody. I would be any
Anybody?
person.
No, she's in West Side Story.
No, I would. Well, I wouldn't be anybody in West Side Story. I would play
Okay.
any character in Oklahoma. You can cast
Come
me
on.
as
You're Ado,
anybody. I would
Annie.
love to be Ado. I would love to be Lori. I will be anybody. I would love to play Will
you
Parker.
play age, so maybe you'd wind up
I
being
can
Ann
be
Eller.
well.
Or Andrew Carnes. You're very versatile.
You are so. I would love to play any and all
I
characters.
have played Curly 3 times
What?
before I lost my hair,
Really?
and Will once. Will is so much more fun.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. Maybe we could do a duet.
Okay.
Right now? Are you ready
Right
to know
now.
all the lyrics?
What song?
Well,
I hope I know the lyrics.
we could do.
Oh no.
Some people claim that you are to
no.
blame as
Oh, no.
much as I. Why do you take the trouble to bake
no.
my
Not the stress.
favorite pie? Granted your wish, I carved our initials on that tree. What is the wish you... Oh, I screwed it up. Sorry.
It's a passable list of don'ts for me. Don't go. Oh, what's the key? Don't go.
Bouquets at me. Well, we'd have to sing. You sing a little bit of that song. Well, she starts.
I
So
know.
how does she go?
Don't laugh at my jokes too much.
That's Curly.
Is it?
That's just both.
People will say
we're in love. Yeah,
Okay.
This is like sort of a very much
come back. I'll
a May
come back.
December romance. I am not Curly anymore.
It's fine. We can sing it.
Have we
Anyway.
finished with Carousel? I think we have.
I think
oh no,
that's enough.
we're on to Rogers and Hammerstein. We're just generally rapping here, so as the kids say. We talk about this. You know what? I think it's enough of me singing. I think it's time for you to sing.
It
a
is
song
time for
solo.
me to sing.
So what are you going to sing
I
for
almost
us?
forgot. Happy Working Song from Enchanted.
Okay. Well, why don't you get up and
Yeah,
sing that?
sure.
And I don't know how the cameras work, but would they just be focused on her? And could I go to the bathroom during this? I don't know. I've been
go
drinking
for
a
it.
lot. No, I'm
You-
going to hold it.
oh,
I'm going
okay.
to listen to your song.
I should stand up and.
But
I
people
used
will
to sing
know
this at
that
the
I'm
ice cream
sacrificing.
parlor, but I don't want to jump ahead. But yes,
You can jump ahead.
I used to sing this often at the ice cream parlor. I would sing all the Disney music.
People
so
have no idea what the ice cream
I
parlor
know.
is. You
Well,
gotta
I'm going
back
to
up a
talk
little.
about it. Well, we're going to talk about it later.
Okay, just sing it.
So okay. Anyway, I'm going to look at you.
Turkey.
I know. Come on, little friends, as we all sing a happy little working song. Merry merry little voices clear and strong. Come and roll your sleeves up, so to speak, to pitch in. Cleaning crud up in the kitchen as we sing along. Trill a cheery tune in the tub as we wash stubborn mildew stain. Pluck a hairball from the shower drain to the gay refrain of a happy working song. We'll keep singing without fail, otherwise we'd spoil it. Hosing down the garbage pail and scrubbing out the toilet. Ooh, you can do a lot when you have such a happy working tune to hum. While you're sponging up the soapy scum, so it's fun to hum a happy working song. Ooh, a happy working song. Oh, how strange a place to be till Edward comes for me. My heart is sighing still. As long as I am here, I guess a new experience could be worth trying. Hey, keep trying. You can do a lot when you have such a happy working tune to hum. While you're sponging up the soapy scum, we adore each filthy chore that we determine. So friends, even though you're vermin, we're a happy working song. Singing as we fetch the detergent box for the smelly shirts and the stinky socks. Sing along. If you cannot sing, then hum along as we're finishing our happy working song. Wasn't that fun?
That was great.
Wow, wasn't that fun?
And where did you say that was from?
It's from the movie Enchanted.
I did not know that
Yes,
song
and I
growing up, but it
always
is really
mix
fun.
up the little words.
Very Disney in structure. I loved it. It has the
know.
perky thing. And then it does the slow down thing.
I know. Amy Adams.
Okay.
Oh, she plays the princess. So what happens in the movie is that she is a princess in an animated world, and then she ends up falling into New York City.
Oh.
And then she
I remember
meets
the
Patrick
preview.
Dempsey. Well, not
Dr. Dreamy.
Dr. Dreamy, I know. Well, yes, Patrick Dempsey. And then she soon discovers that she likes being in New York City and likes reality versus the enchanted world that she was living in. And then, but there's a wicked witch that comes along and
Has
tries
Disney
to
put
mix it
this
all
on
up.
Broadway yet?
No.
Will they? They seem to do that with everything.
I don't know. Well, because it is animated and
Oh, that would be difficult.
it would be difficult, but Disney's
they
done
have
it before.
magic.
Disney magic, I know. Anyway, so I used to sing that a lot at the ice cream parlor, and I would mix up the words a lot too.
Well, I'm glad that you sang it. You introduced me to a new song.
It's fun.
I'm really thrilled about
It's
that.
really
You did
cute.
terrific, but it's time.
It's time for a shameless plug.
The Grand Opera House will present KGOH, The Voice of the Grand presents Christmas Treasures, a radio play directed and adapted for the stage by Doug Donald. Performances are on November 27th, 28th at 7:30 and November 29th at 2 p.m. Just 3 performances for this. Set in a 1940s radio station, actors and sound effects artists come together to bring to life 3 classic Christmas stories: Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, A Child's Christmas in Wales, and A Christmas Carol. The cast will be comprised of a small number of actors voicing all the characters, plus live sound effects artists and a keyboard player, Terry Dillon, who will provide live musical accompaniment and underscoring. The production will be presented to a socially distanced live audience and will also be live streamed. For tickets and details on access to the live stream, visit the Grand's website at, you know this by heart yet?
I do.
www.thegrandoperahouse.com. Well, we better
Nice.
keep moving. Summer 17, you are back again, and now you are,
I'm an intern.
yay!
An unofficial
So
intern.
grown up.
I
Yeah,
know.
right. We usually have 4 interns
said,
that are. Oh, did we? Thanks. Do you need to get? You need to visit.
I just finished
I
and
think you
opened
should
another
visit
one.
the plant.
Not singing anymore unless we sing Oklahoma.
Well, you never know. We could burst into song at any
we
moment. but,
could.
yeah,
I tend to do that.
just toss that empty wherever you want.
Oh, it's okay. We'll set it here.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fine.
good.
Yes, I was an intern.
And it was most of our interns are doing tech work, you were a very specialized intern.
Yes. Through Viterbo, they offered a program where we could get paid through Viterbo, I believe.
You got paid?
I know. Look at that. Where we could do some kind of internship, but also get paid through the university or whatever grants that they had. So I wanted to work at the Grand, and so I was a box office intern primarily for Michelle. So I didn't do as much of the tech building like the other interns typically do.
Right, but it did allow you, typically we bar the other interns from being in productions because they're so busy,
Yes,
but you were allowed to be in a production that year. And what were you in?
I was in Gypsy. I was Tessitura, the ballet stripper.
You were a stripper.
I know. It was so fun.
You did. That's a fun role. It is really.
It
great.
really-
But you have to like sit around the whole first act, right?
I did not for this show.
Oh, you
No. Because for our production, well, in previous productions, it's written in that there are multiple live animals.
Oh God, I forgot about
so
this.
we had we had a small puppy for them to come in with, but then my grandparents are farmers and they have family farm friends, and we got a lamb. So I was
for the little lamb.
for the little lamb song. So we had a real live lamb on stage during Act 1, and then I was a stripper during Act 2. We shared a dressing room.
So you were the lamb. You were like a shepherd.
I was a shepherd.
You took care of the
I
lamb.
was the lamb wrangler. Yes. Yes.
Oh, I seem to remember. I don't remember the lamb during the second weekend.
Well. So what happened was the lamb that we ended up using was a family friend's, and it was the runt of the litter, and his name was Lazarus.
Bad
Because when he was born, he already had some health issues, and so he was pretty lethargic for being a lamb. Typically, they're pretty, I don't know, adventurous. Lambunctious. Yes. So he was pretty docile which worked out for us for a show. And he was also like this. He was this tall. He was pretty big. I said, dang it. I don't want to spill on myself. So we had the lamb. The lamb made it on stage for the first weekend. We had some accidents on stage. I would carry this lamb up the stairs.
You mean the lamb peed on stage?
Yes. I carried the lamb up the stairs and held it until Anna, who was June, or no, she was not June, she was Louise. She would pick up the lamb, carry it, set it down, pick it up again, sing her song, pick it up, and walk off. So pretty minimal effort, I would say, but also stole the show. But we sent the lamb to my grandparents to have a relaxing time off, and on Monday, between the shows, we get a phone call from my grandparents saying that Lazarus has passed.
The lamb died.
Out of either. This story sounds more ridiculous every time I tell it, but we were not sure if it was health issues, if it was...
Your grandparents ate that lamb.
Maybe. I don't know. No one has told me.
I don't know.
Out of probably respect. I don't know. But they were pretty upset that they had to call us to tell us that the lamb was no longer
I think
around.
They could have waited another week.
Right. And so my mom and I...
Your mom is so wonderful. She ushers here at all.
She ushers. Hi,
great.
Becky. She'll love
I don't know how
this.
she has time.
I don't know. But I remember her getting the phone call, her telling me we're sitting across each other from the kitchen table, bursting out laughing, being like, what do we do? We have to call Steven, who is our stage manager. I think this was his first
Steven,
show,
who has a girlfriend
correct?
in Canada?
Yes. Steven's first show stage managing. We have to call him to tell him that the lamb that we use has died. And then we have to tell Joe, our director, and they're like, what do we do? What do we do? And then we have to tell the cast, and they're all just sobbing.
Their kids in the cast.
The kids in the cast are so upset. They made a little shrine for
laughing through the
Lazarus.
whole thing.
And I'm just like...
Because you get chops that night.
I said, now I get my own dressing room, because we shared a dressing room.
Oh, you shared a dressing room with the lamb. I didn't know that.
It worked out. We had a fill-in lamb that was not live.
Well,
But
let's
it
look at the
did
photos
work
here from Gypsy. Oh, there are no photos here from Gypsy.
Really? Oh.
No, and do you know why?
No?
Because it's not on your resume.
I was told to take Gypsy off of my resume because Tessitura is normally played by a a gal in her 50s, and
Oh,
I'm not.
I
50.
didn't know. I didn't know whether you were ashamed
Oh,
of being
absolutely
a stripper,
not.
or you were worried
No.
about being
Are you
typecast
kidding?
as a stripper.
Are
Who
you
was telling you all this
kidding?
crap about your resume, telling you
I've
not
had
to
a
do
few
things?
interviews with
Yeah,
some
telling you to
New
put
York
intermediate
professionals.
and not play tessitura.
Yeah. I'm like,
There
these
was
are the roles
nothing
I
in
play.
the script that says tessitura.
This is
has
how
to
I
be.
entertain. I know.
All
I
the strippers
know,
are like
I
old and hang,
know,
but you've
I
already
know.
proven you've played grandmas
I-
and yet you play age.
Thank you.
Yes, the
It's
strippers
versatility.
are not like grade
don't have
A
to be.
strippers.
Right.
But I want you to put tessitura back on your
Thank you.
resume.
I will.
I
It
think
really
you
is
should.
fun. It was one of my favorite things.
Yeah, so why take it off? I don't,
Right,
I don't know who
absolutely.
this person advising you is.
I don't know. We'll talk about
That's
that later.
fine.
That's
We'll
fine.
talk
Move
when
on.
we're off camera. So the summer ends, you go back to school, but you don't come back for a while. What do you do?
Well, I stayed at school for the summer. For what? Wow. Between junior and senior year. And then, well, we didn't talk about 9 to 5.
Oh,
We didn't talk about 9 to 5
oh
at all.
right. I was supposed to ask you about what shows you did in college. Thanks,
Well,
you're good to remember.
Sure. Well, we didn't talk about 9 to 5 that I did here.
You did it at the Grand.
I did it at the Grand, and
And who
I
did you
was
play?
originally in the ensemble, but the lady who was playing Roz, she's supposed to be one of the oldest
Oldest
gals,
again.
and again
Probably
it's
older
my
than Tessitura.
probably. Well, whatever. She's supposed to be more mature. She's more of a.
And you're how old at this point? You're
At
still
this
in
point,
high
I
school?
was 16. I played this role when I was 16, and Mike Link, bless him, he was great, but we were just had a ball with it. Well, and he was obviously not 16; he was older than that. But my character Roz is supposed to be what's the word? I don't know. She's lusting after the boss, and she's definitely more strict on the books and
Drink with
def-
Oz.
Oh,
And then I said one, too.
no. Anyway, she's kind of one of the villains who helps the three ladies. I don't know. The three ladies gang up on the boss, and she's like the boss's assistant, I guess.
And then you get to play, you're in 9 to 5 again in college.
Yes, so we did 9 to 5 in college, and it's one of my favorite shows because Dolly Parton, it's all 70s, the whole thing.
And so this time you get to play a really big role.
No.
No.
I did audition with the exact song Heart to Heart that I sang from here, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I make bold choices. So I did
think
that.
they were discriminating against
They
you
were-
because you were not in the musical theater department.
I won't say anything about that. But no, I'm kidding. I don't know if any of them would
I
watch
think
this.
there's
But
politics always involved. There's
you
no
were
possible
so
way
right.
you could have been.
Well, it was a lot. I came in off book. I was ready to
I
do
know.
Roz. So it was a shock. They were definitely
That you actually played a smaller role in college.
well, maybe, I don't know. I ended up playing Margaret, who is the office lush, and throughout the show, once the ladies take over the office, they send her to rehab to help with her drinking, and then she comes back and she's, new and improved, kind of. So I brought my
How
Roz.
old were you when you played that?
I was 21.
Oh, so
22.
you played a lush, but you were legally old to drink.
I was in Wisconsin. So when I came out and I had my little flask in hand and I was like, yeah, I say, atta girl. The crowd cheered because we were in Wisconsin. It was,
I think people like that in Iowa too.
felt particular Wisconsin. I don't know.
Okay. Did you
But-
have any cheese?
No.
Okay.
No, it
sorry.
was just most of my lines were about booze until I
Okay.
got cleaned up. But I also was a dancer. So
My
when I
college
wasn't
roommate was also from lacrosse.
Really?
Turbo's in lacrosse.
yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've been in lacrosse many times.
Oh.
His uncle, well, he's probably dead by the time you got there. His uncle was the Archbishop of lacrosse, and my college roommate was Ken Paul. So his uncle was the Archbishop of lacrosse, John Paul, who, of course, at the Pope at
Oh,
the
the
time
Pope was John Paul.
So in our college dorm room, there
Wow.
was always this picture of his uncle with the
Wow.
Pope that would say, "You will be the John Paul of America." It was like kind of pretentious. but
Wow.
in any case, I love you,
But-
Ken, if you're watching.
It was pretentious. I guess What were we saying about
I
9
have
to
no
5?
idea.
Anyway, I also
That's
was
the
a
fun
dancer.
thing about,
I know.
with Frank is
no.
we get to talk about whatever we want.
You're so right. We'll sing Oklahoma later. So I got to do dancing roles. So I was one of the boys. Usually those are all men, but we didn't have enough male dancers in college
Are we still
to do
talking
that.
about 9 to 5?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
God.
did.
Okay, good. I got lost.
That's what we thought about. So I played Margaret the Office Lush in a variety of dance roles. Anyway, we can move on.
There is one more thing we have to talk about because it's not just college. You graduated from college and then you went off to somewhere else because you didn't come back here right away. So what did you do after college?
So what did I do? Right after I said, "Oh, dang it!"
You said it twice.
The day I
I
graduated
think
from
it's
college.
about midnight. Keep going.
I hope not. The day that I graduated from college, I booked a plane, hopped on a plane, and went to Beach Haven, New Jersey, which is a little island off the coast of New Jersey. And I worked at the Showplace Ice Cream Parlor, which is a singing ice cream parlor that is connected to the Surflight Theater.
That's the reference to the ice cream parlor she made earlier.
Yes, the ice cream parlor that I sang the song from. So this ice cream parlor is basically you book your time. Well, at least when we were doing it, I think they've changed it since. You would book your seating time every hour between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. And you would order your ice cream. All of the ice creams are named after musicals. So the Annie, the Wizard of Oz, the Oklahoma, the Sweet Charity, which was my favorite
Fun
one.
Home?
Fun Home, no.
Okay,
they're
fine.
more, unfortunately,
Yes.
no. More of the classic musical theater shows. So all of the Sundays were named after that. And so once you ordered your Sunday, the waiters, or the waitry, as we call ourselves, who all matched our aprons matched the wallpaper. We wore red and white striped aprons. They matched the red and white wallpaper. We would come over to our each table, and if you ordered the Annie Sundae, we would have you stand up and say, because you've ordered the Annie Sundae, you are going to sing Marshmallow, Marshmallow, I love ya, Marshmallow, because it had marshmallow on your Sundae. So we had all of these bits that we had to memorize to do for various Sundays that we had, or if there was chocolate syrup on one, we would do that, or if we had an anniversary or a birthday or a special event, we had all of these bits that we would do. Once everyone received their ice cream, we would do a 20-minute cabaret style show. So we had a host who would lead through everything. We would have solos, duets, a sing-along. We would celebrate any of the birthdays or anything we had going on. And then we would do, so the sing-along, we would do the solo, duets, the sing-along, and then the sing-along would be like You Are My Sunshine or some song that most folks would know.
This was just a couple years ago. What year was it?
This was 2019 for me. It was last year.
2019. Okay, great.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
So we would do all of that, and then we would do our finale song. So all of the waitry would sing and dance, and then we had 7.5 minutes to clear the space before our next seating. We usually went overtime. Dang it. We would do at least roughly 5 or 6 shows per night, 7 days a week.
Now, where are you living during all this?
We lived, so the ice cream parlor was one part of the building, and then above that was an apartment that all of us stayed in together. We lived with everybody.
Was it a good time?
It was for the most part. It was.
You're on the beach in
It was.
New Jersey
We were on the beach, and
in
then
the
we
summer?
were connect. It was gorgeous. I never spent that much summer.
Part of my history right now.
Right, and you've been
it
to
wasn't
Wildwood.
right
You worked at
after
Wildwood.
that, but in summer of 1985, I graduated. So it was like my second summer out of college. I worked in Wildwood, New Jersey,
which is roughly
doing a
like
very
half an
similar
hour away
experience,
from each
working in
other.
a group called Musicana. We did a whole buffet. We did a whole meal.
Right.
And then we would do like a 40-minute set and then have to clear everything and do that. But one of the best summers of my life.
Right.
Well, it was 1985. So I was basically living in Rock of Ages in
I
New
love
Jersey.
that for you.
It
I'm
was
sure
so
you were
fantastic.
thriving.
It was so much fun.
Yes.
It was the thinnest I have ever been in my life.
Wow.
I weighed 160 pounds. It's like
Oh my
100
God.
pounds lighter than I am right now.
Wow.
My hair, before I was starting to lose my hair, it was blonde from the sun. Oh my
you
God.
were thriving.
It was
The salt air. You just
it
living
was
your best life.
fantastic.
Wow. Yes.
Well, enough that memory lane. So
Oh, it's time for a shameless plug.
The Grand Opera House will present our annual Christmas show for the grown-ups, the comedy, The 12 Dates of Christmas by Gina Hoban at 7:30 p.m. on December 23rd, 25th, 26th, and 27th. Are you going to come?
Hopefully, yeah.
Good. Tickets will be available for this production on December 2nd. This one-woman tour de force will star Megan Frankovich and will be directed by Sue Flogel. On Thanksgiving Day, Mary, that's Megan, discovers that her fiancé is cheating on her when she catches him on national TV kissing another woman at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. She then must navigate a year's worth of hapless holidays and luckless romances amid colorful characters that make up her family. The play contains adult language and themes and will be presented to a socially distanced live audience. Now, typically for our adult Christmas show, everybody sits on stage, but this year we're not going to do that. So it'll be regular, but people will be out there and they'll be sitting. But it's one of the highlights of my year. I really love our adult Christmas show. This one isn't quite as adult as Who's Holiday. Did you get to see Who's Holiday?
I did.
Oh my!
It was
Michelle
so good.
Was fantastic. She was great.
It was
this
so
is
good.
not quite as adult as that. I would call it like PG-13 with a Hallmark movie twist with a little more. It's a fun show.
Okay.
So we're going to have to keep moving here.
That's fine.
So you stayed away for a while, but you did come back in time to be part of our last big show before COVID hit. What was that and who were you?
Rock of Ages!
Yes!
And I was Regina!
Regina! Love it.
I
so
know.
tell me some wonderful things about this show.
Well, it's a dream show of mine. I wanted to do Rock of Ages since I learned about
Another
it.
one you submitted an audition video
I
for.
did because I was so nervous about that.
Yeah, like that was pre-COVID, so why were you coming back to Dubuque?
Because
Rock of Ages?
I had...
For
so
Rock of Ages is the right answer.
Yes, actually. It ended up being because of that. So I worked in New Jersey. I did some work in Pittsburgh for a while. And then at the end of that, I had submitted an application to do an internship at a theater in Chicago, but then it just didn't really pan out. But at that same time, I was like, I'll just submit to Rock of Ages because it's a dream show of mine to do. I had submitted to it for other companies.
Did you want to be Regina?
Yes.
Okay,
Regina's like top dream role for me. So I hope to do it again.
You were
Hope to.
fantastic.
Thank
Why?
you.
Because the first time wasn't good enough?
No, I love it.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
love
I was
it. It's
teasing
so
you.
fun. And every time I've brought it up to my fellow theater folks, they're like, why Rock of Ages? That's like I'm like, hello? So anyone who knows me knows that I'm a big fan. Big fan.
It is a great show.
It's so fun. It's so fun. I love it.
I came
think
to it
it's
fairly
so
late. I remember, like, while it was playing on Broadway, I was visiting New York frequently, and I'd pass the poster, and it never really drew me in, and I didn't see it, But then once I did, it's wonderful.
I love it.
I think it's one of the best, jukebox musicals out there. I think the story, the songs, they fit. I saw it off Broadway, and it was a great deal of fun. I think our production, was better in many ways. I feel I would watch our production, and you get all the craziness and zaniness, but it had so much heart.
Right.
I remember, it's in the middle of these absurdities. I'm like tearing up. It's just
I
so
love
good.
it. I love that there's all this heart in it, and it's
Yes.
also because how else are you supposed to act out all of these rock songs?
Yeah. Really, let's look at some pictures from Rock of
I
Ages.
do love it.
Okay, this first picture of Rock of Ages. There you are,
There I am.
doing your rock and roll sign. What is it?
Yes, I don't even.
So that's the first scene where in the
Yes, so this is the mayor's office, and Benji.
boy and an and now I said it.
So this is the first scene that I came
you.
on for me, and it's in the opening number where the mayor is given a proposal from the two German guys about making the Sunset Strip more industrial. And I'm like, no, listen to the people.
Gentrified.
We built this city. Bum,
Yeah.
bum, bum. We built this city on rock and roll.
And so you mentioned earlier that on the far right there, that's Benji Miller,
That is Benji Miller.
and he you didn't know him beforehand, but now you're soulmates.
We're pals.
And he's
Yeah.
what's he holding there?
He is holding a model of what the city would look like
that will
if
be
it
later
was
revealed.
would
in
be
the
later
scene.
revealed, but it was
And was
actually
that brilliantly
made
constructed?
by Frank. Yes,
That's right. I did props for this
Frank did
show,
props.
and I was so proud of that model.
It was really
Sorry,
nice.
this isn't about me, but it really is.
It really is.
Let's move on to the next photo. You're doing your power.
Yes, this is
Rock
We're
of
Not
Age
Gonna
protest.
Take It, which is one of the protests that we held in the show to stop, oh no, in an attempt to stop all of the construction that's going on.
Fantastic. So great. And okay, this last photo, and this is our last photo of the evening. This is you and Benji
I
again.
know, he's the star, really.
No, you're both stars. But you're in a lot of spandex there. What number is
We
this?
are. This is Hit Me With Your Best Shot, which is the song where after we realize there's a connection between us and he wants to help save the Sunset Strip, he ends up, I guess, disobeying his father's orders, and then he does a costume quick change, or just a tearaway right in the middle, and he's wearing the spandex
Very
and the leggings,
80s.
very 80s, and then me, Regina, being supportive pal, love interest, whatever dynamic duo we are, I also do a tearaway, and then we sing Hit Me With Your Best Shot together.
It's a perfectly constructed number.
It's my favorite
It's
thing.
so great. You know, he does
I
the
know.
tell off of his father, and then there's the reveal, and then there's your reveal.
I know. It was so fun.
I made sure I was I watched almost every single production, almost every minute of it, but there's no way I missed that part.
Oh,
it was fantastic.
It was so fun.
I'm so glad you got to be part of our, not our fun, like we're back.
We
We're
are
doing
back.
things.
We're
We're
doing
going to chug
things.
along. We're doing this hybrid virtual stuff with Frank's. We have
Yeah.
shows coming up. We're crossing our fingers, but we are doing everything we can to make our theater safe for patrons to come into and make sure that our casts are safe. That's why we're sitting this socially distanced apart. So we really appreciate your being here.
Yeah,
Any
thank you.
final words of wisdom before we wrap this up?
I don't know, but take care of yourselves.
Rock on. do
Rock
all
on.
that. Yeah. Okay.
Support the arts.
Well, it's been great spending time with you, Dorothy Joe. But before
Thank
you go,
you.
you have to earn your keep. So
You're
that
right.
means you have to.
Shameless plug.
Yeah,
Right?
you got to point at me. It's time for shameless plugs.
The Grand Opera House is a 501c3 organization, and
She's
now
drunk.
more than ever, we need your support. Please consider donating to the Grand. You can make a one-time or reoccurring donation by visiting the Grand's website, www.thegrandoperahouse.com.
So, did you get your degree in theater?
I have a degree in acting.
In acting. Okay, so let's try that again, please, without stumbling.
For real?
Jeez.
What accent would you like done?
Oh, give me German.
Oh, maybe not that one.
Oberfoell.
I know that's the one that
All
I
right,
have,
whatever
like,
you want. Just do it with
I don't
feeling.
know. With feeling.
This is for people to give.
You're
People
so
have to
right.
give.
I know. The Grand Opera House is a 501c3 organization.
This isn't NPR. Come on.
Should I host NPR sometime?
Whatever you want.
Okay. The Grand Opera House is a 501c3 organization, and now more than ever, we need your support. Please consider donating to the Grand.
Now really sad.
You can make a one-time or reoccurring
The
donation
puppies are dying.
by visiting the Grand's website, www.thegrandoperahouse.com.
You take directions so well. That's fantastic. Dorothy
Well,
Joe, thank you for
thank
being
you.
my guest on with Frank. You are an absolute delight. I have
you.
really, really, really enjoyed this.
Thank you. Me too.
And I didn't have any of those reallys written in my script. I made that up on the fly. I wish you only wonderful things in life.
you.
I think you have a fantastic career. I think we're lucky to
you.
have you in Dubuque right now.
Thank
I
you.
hope
I'm
that
happy
things
to be
clear
here.
up and that you go on to live your dreams
Thanks.
somewhere else, or no, here, wherever. I love that you're sharing your talent.
Thank you.
Next week on with Frank, my guest will be Doug Donald, the director and adapter of our upcoming holiday show, Christmas Treasures. So tune in next week and stay on top of everything that's happening at the Grand by visiting the Grand On Demand web page on our website,
www.thegrandoperahouse.com.
Stay safe. Good night and